The battle for a spot on the Houston Texans roster is reaching a fever pitch, and one young defender is suddenly finding himself on the outside looking in. This former late-round draft pick showed flashes of brilliance last season, but a series of unfortunate events has put his future in H-Town in serious jeopardy. For fans who have watched this team rebuild from the ground up, seeing a promising talent face such uncertainty is a difficult pill to swallow. Before we dive into the details, please subscribe and join our community. Jaylen Reed is the name on everyone's lips right now as we look at the potential casualties of the upcoming cutdown day. It is a tough situation because the young safety proved he could play at this level during his rookie campaign. Head coach DeMeco Ryans has built one of the most competitive secondaries in the entire league, and that success is exactly what is making life difficult for a second-year player like Jaylen Reed. When you look at the names currently ahead of him on the depth chart, you start to see why the coaching staff has such a difficult decision to make. The Texans went out and secured Reed Blankenship to be a cornerstone of the back end, and they also drafted Kalen Bullock to bring more youth and speed to the group. On top of that, veteran MJ Stewart is returning on a new one-year deal after his own season was cut short, and we cannot forget about fifth-round selection Kamari Lassiter joining the mix. For a sixth-round pick like Jaylen Reed, this is a massive mountain to climb. The tragedy here is that his talent was never the issue. We all remember that incredible Thursday night football game against the Buffalo Bills where he recorded 12 tackles and a fumble recovery. That was the moment we thought a star was born. However, the NFL is a business of availability, and injuries have been a persistent shadow over his young career. He started his rookie season on the injured reserve list because of a knee injury sustained during training camp. Just when he was finding his rhythm and helping the team win games, a forearm injury against the Indianapolis Colts ended his season prematurely. Now, the front office has to decide if they can rely on him to stay healthy, or if the roster spot is better used on someone who can provide more consistent availability. DeMeco Ryans is a coach who values toughness and presence on the field, and while Jaylen Reed has shown both, the medical reports might carry as much weight as the game film. It is a heartbreaking reality for a player who has given his all. The depth of this secondary is a testament to how far the Houston Texans have come in such a short amount of time. Just a few years ago, we were searching for anyone who could make a tackle in the open field, but now we are talking about cutting productive players because the room is simply too crowded. This young safety brings a specific type of energy that is hard to replace, but the coaching staff has to look at the big picture. When he was on the field, the defense seemed to play with a bit more edge. He was a ball hawk who wasn't afraid to put his body on the line, which is exactly what you want from a late-round find. However, the what-if game is a dangerous one for a team with championship aspirations. If the coaches keep him and he gets hurt again, they are suddenly thin at a vital position during the most important part of the season. On the other hand, if they let him go, there is a very high chance another team in our division picks him up and he haunts us for the next 5 years. We have seen this story play out before with other players who just needed a fresh start or better luck with their health. The impact on the locker room is also something to consider. Players see the hard work he puts in behind the scenes to recover from those knee and forearm issues. Cutting a hard worker can sometimes send a ripple through the building, even if it makes sense on paper. The front office is likely weighing his value on special teams as well. In the NFL, if you are not a primary starter, you have to be a dominant force on the kick and punt coverage units to justify your spot. This is where the battle will really be won or lost during those hot summer practices. Every rep becomes a high-stakes audition. He needs to show that his body can handle the physical toll of a full 17-game schedule. Talent is undeniable, but the reliability remains the biggest question mark hanging over his helmet as we approach the preseason. The consequences of this decision will be felt the moment the whistle blows in Week 1. If the Texans decide to move on, they are essentially betting that their new additions like Reed Blankenship and Kalen Bullock are enough to carry the load without any setbacks. It is a gamble that could pay off with a more athletic and durable secondary, but it also removes a proven playmaker who already knows the defensive system. In the simplest terms, keeping the right players means winning more games and making a deeper run in the playoffs. We want to see this team dominate the AFC South, and every single roster spot counts toward that goal. If the team keeps a player who cannot stay on the field, they are essentially playing with a shorter bench. That leads to tired starters and blown coverages in the fourth quarter. We have all felt the frustration of watching a lead slip away because the defense was gapped out. On the flip side, losing a player with his nose for the football could hurt the team's ability to create turnovers. Those 12 tackles against Buffalo weren't a fluke. They were the result of great instincts and a high football IQ. If those instincts are gone, the defense might become a bit more predictable and easier for veteran quarterbacks to pick apart. The risk of failure here is real. A weak secondary is the fastest way to ruin a promising season, especially in a league that loves to pass the ball. We are looking for stability and toughness. The fans deserve a defense that can stand tall in the biggest moments. This move is about more than just one player. It is about the identity of the entire Houston Texans defense. Are we a team that values potential, or are we a team that demands results and availability? The answer to that question will define the culture that DeMeco Ryans is trying to build for the long haul. Every decision made in the front office this summer is a brick in the foundation of what we hope will be a championship contender for years to come. The stakes have never been higher for our boys. Everything comes down to two very different paths for this young defender and the Houston Texans. In the best-case scenario, he enters training camp looking stronger and more explosive than ever before. He stays healthy through every practice, shows out in the preseason games, and proves to the coaching staff that his previous injuries were just a run of bad luck. If that happens, the Texans suddenly have an embarrassment of riches in the secondary. He becomes a vital rotational piece who can step in and make game-changing plays whenever his number is called. This would give the defense incredible flexibility and protection against the inevitable bumps and bruises of a long season. It would be a feel-good story for a player who has worked his way back from two major setbacks in his first year. But we have to look at the darker side of the coin as well. In the worst-case scenario, the injury bug strikes again during the preseason. If he misses even a week of practice, the competition is so fierce that he might never catch back up. The coaches would have no choice but to let him go to ensure they have enough healthy bodies for the opener. This would be a massive blow to the player's career and a disappointing end to a promising start in Houston. The tension in the building will be palpable every time he goes down for a tackle or gets up slowly from a pile. Every fan will be holding their breath, hoping for the best but fearing the worst. The stakes are incredibly high because there is no middle ground here. He is either a key part of the future or he is a name from the past. This is the brutal nature of professional football that we don't always like to talk about. These athletes put everything on the line, and sometimes their dreams are cut short by things they cannot control. The next few months will be a test of character and physical endurance. We will be watching closely to see which path this story takes, knowing the outcome will change the defense. The situation in the Texans' secondary is one of the most compelling storylines to watch as we head toward the season. We have a young, talented player who has shown he can compete at the highest level, but his own body has been his toughest opponent so far. With a deep and talented group of safeties now on the roster, there is simply no room for error. The coaching staff faces a monumental task in deciding who stays and who goes. It is a classic NFL dilemma between talent and availability. As fans, we want to see our guys succeed, especially the ones who have shown that grit and determination. But we also want to see a winning team on the field every Sunday. Be honest with me, would you take the risk and keep a player with an injury history if you knew he had star potential? Or would you play it safe and go with someone more reliable? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more exclusive Houston Texans insider updates. Hit that notification bell today.